As part of the 16 days of activism to end violence against women and girls, I want to talk about one simple thing that we can do as social workers to end violence in our writing. Yes, our writing style. We write reports all the time, we write assessments, we write recommendations, and quite often we are talking about and working with and alongside domestic abuse. So how might you be causing violence in your writing? I have done this before in my writing. It's something that I try and be really aware of, but we pick up terrible habits in social work offices. And so before I make this clear to you, I want you to come at it not from a position of blame or shame for yourself, but a position of moving forward in your learning. When you are writing about domestic abuse, I want you to think about who you name first in a sentence. Do you name the victim or do you name the perpetrator? More often than not, you will name the victim before the perpetrator. And quite often, and research shows that our social work writing focuses heavily on victims of domestic abuse. We hear this horrible phrase, failure to protect, when in actual fact, how can someone fail to protect when they themselves are also a victim of domestic abuse? Think about the last plan that you made. Did it focus on the perpetrator of harm, or again, did it focus on the victim? Think about who you make the subject of the sentence. It might seem like the smallest step, but actually the way that you write about domestic abuse changes the perception of everybody who reads that report. We can often feel really powerless as social workers working in domestic abuse when the system that exists around it doesn't necessarily support our ethics and values. This action isn't going to change the world overnight, but it is one small thing that we can do and start to focus on in practice to shift the narrative. Otherwise, our language is blaming and shaming, and we are feeding into an already problematic system. If you have any examples of small practice steps that we can take as social workers to contribute to ending violence against women and girls in our day-to-day work, put them in the comments so we can all learn from each other.